Measures to watch out for scammers looking to take advantage of damage left behind by the recent severe storms and flooding.
Indiana AG Todd Rokita said fake salesmen posing as contractors are going door to door and falsely claiming the Federal Emergency Management Agency will pay for their damage. He said scammers often arrive quickly after disasters to take advantage of the chaos and uncertainty. The fake contractors may pressure them to sign agreements immediately, promise to waive insurance deductibles, or claim they can handle an entire insurance claim. Under Indiana law, home improvement contracts worth more than $150 must be in writing. The contract must include details about the work, the total price, approximate start and completion dates, and whether subcontractors will be used. Any Hoosier who thinks they fell victim to a scam should report it as soon as possible. Such a shame that people take advantage of others during those times.
Yeah, and they've seen so much rain, but